Today, I will be talking about my whole English learning journey, whole English learning process, starting from the very basic beginner level to an advanced level. First of all, you need to understand that every single minute that you spend without speaking is a waste. I only learned English by speaking English. You can only learn a language by speaking a language. Comprehensible input, which I talk about all the time, will not make you speak English. Basically, with this video, you will see that starting as a beginner and understanding nothing, how I started speaking English by not watching so many TV shows or YouTube videos. Basically, by not doing comprehensible input. Because the only way, the best way to speak the language and learn the language and improve your comprehension is to speak the language. You always ask me these questions. Do you study grammar? No. Do you use flashcards? No. Do you memorize words? No. Do you make lists of words? No. Do you read books in order to learn English and improve your reading skills? No. What do you do to improve your writing skills? Nothing. In order to learn a language, you don't need to watch tons of movies, TV shows. You don't need to make memorization. You don't need to make lists of words. You don't need to make flashcards. Use flashcards. In 2017, October 15, I started practicing with a script of friends. That was the time I understood that the only way to learn a language was to speak a language. When I first started watching Friends, I wasn't understanding anything. I wasn't understanding English at all. I was a complete beginner. There is no point of watching tons of TV shows or movies or episodes in order to learn a language. For instance, I learned English with the script of Friends with the first 15 episodes of Friends. As a first step, I started learning English with the script of Friends. Okay, but what are the rules of learning English with the scripts? What you need to keep in mind is learning English with the scripts is not a shadowing. Shadowing and practicing with the scripts are completely two different methods.
Look, I don't want to make any trouble, okay? But I'm in a lot of pain here, all right? My face is dented.
Look, I don't want to make any trouble, okay? I'm in a lot of pain here, okay? Alright? I'm in a lot of pain here, alright? My face is dented. I always get this comment saying like, oh, what is the difference between shadowing and your method? It seems same to me. Now, let me explain the difference between shadowing and script method, because shadowing and script method are completely different. Okay, when you do shadowing, you repeat the lines right after you hear the lines. So basically, you're in a parrot mode.
My mom came down and we had a birthday celebration. It was really great.
My mom came down and we had this birthday celebration and it was really great. You hear the lines and then afterwards, you repeat them. You mainly pay attention to the pronunciation and accent.
Wearable tech will only get like broad usage.
Wearable tech will only get like broad usage. Basically, your focus is always on the pronunciation of the words and accent. So you pay attention to the listening. You pay attention to the scene, image, and motion. Basically, while you're doing shadowing, you're watching the character, maybe from a YouTube video, maybe from a TV show. So basically, you're distracted by the images and scenes and motions.
Of course, Jack is so elusive. He's like, yeah, I know, J.J. Abrams, we're friends. I was like, well, then you must come.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, J.J. Abrams, we're friends. Then you must come. So you don't challenge yourself to speak because you repeat the sentences like a parrot right after you hear them. And shadowing is a language learning technique where you repeat an audio just after you hear it. So basically there is no force, there is no effort that you put into speaking English because you just repeat it after you hear it. Okay, let's talk about learning English with scripts. First of all, when you practice with the scripts, you don't use your phone or your PC while practicing with scripts. You try to remember and visualize a scene in your head while saying the lines from the scripts.
Isn't this amazing? I mean, I have never made coffee before in my entire life.
That is amazing.
Isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? I mean, I never made coffee before in my life. That is amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So basically, you're not distracted by visual effects or the sounds or voices, etc. You're completely focused on speaking English. You try to speak first, looking at the scripts, and then without looking at the scripts. So when you force yourself to form the sentences without getting any help, your brain starts to learn how to make the sentences in another language. You're not in a parrot mode because you don't repeat the lines after you hear them. And while practicing with the scripts, you automatically remember the scenes. This helps you train your brain to understand how to speak in real life situations.
I cleaned. I did the windows. I did the floors.
Look, I cleaned. I did the windows. I did the floors. Look, I cleaned. I did the windows. I did the floors. So basically, my method, aka methods, script method is a method where you repeat the lines from the scripts without using any visual or sound effects. This technique activates your brain to remember the scenes from the video and play out the scene in your heads while saying the lines without looking at the scripts. This is how you start to speak and form your own sentences over time. Now, when I first started as a beginner in October 2017, I was a true beginner. And then after practicing with the script for about 6 to 8 months, I started making basic sentences. I wasn't speaking English fluently, but I started making basic sentences. And afterwards, after practicing with the script of Friends, I decided to practice with the script of House of Cards for the rest of the year because I wanted to improve my vocabulary in politics. Okay, I wanted to learn vocabulary related to politics and business life.
Tom, I am your chief political correspondent.
Go. I want this by tomorrow.
But I need to focus on the inauguration.
Tom, I am your chief political correspondent. Go, I want this by tomorrow. But I need to focus on the inauguration. After spending like a year or maybe a year and a half by practicing with the script of sitcoms or TV shows, you should start practicing with the scripts of YouTube videos. But what kind of YouTube videos? There are 2 types of YouTube videos that you should practice and learn English with. The first category is vloggers, daily lifestyle vloggers. Adeline, Heliseni, Eli Thuman, Kennedy Walsh, Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon. Those YouTubers are going to be so helpful. Those vlogs are going to be so helpful for you to improve your daily English in the best way possible. Second of all, have a goal. Like, what are your interests in life? What do you do right now? What do you study? What is your job? And find YouTube videos that cover your interests. For instance, let's say you're a journalist, or you're in politics, or maybe you're in technology, or maybe you're studying art, maybe you're in fashion. Find those YouTube videos related to fashion, related to politics, related to media, related to business, whatever it is, and get the script of those YouTube videos and practice. Those YouTube videos are going to be helpful for you to understand and speak about the topics that you're interested in talking about in your daily life. Speaking of learning English with the script of YouTube videos, I would like to show you something that I find very magical and very important. So let's take a look at this video. I walked the length of New York City in one day. Now, I watched this video, okay, but I would like to have the summary of this video. I would like to create a mind map of this video, okay? What I do is, I copy the links of this video. I go to this website, Edrawmind. This is my account here, guys. As you can see, there is this free AI YouTube video summarizer. I copy paste the link right here in this section, and I convert it. You can turn every single document, whether that's a YouTube video or PDF or long text or image, into a mind map. And just like that, walk in the length of Manhattan. So this tool directly turned the YouTube video into a mind map. So basically you can turn this mind map into various different files here. So you can download it as an image or PDF or Word file, Excel, whatever file that you would like to use. For instance, later in the video, Columbia University visit. Taylor visits Columbia University. Arrives at Columbia University, reminiscing about her past visit during college tours. Discusses her goals for the day, including completing the walk and enjoying the city.
We made it to our first stop. This is Columbia University, for those who don't recognize these iconic buildings. I haven't been here since I toured Columbia when I was in high school. I came to the East Coast and looked at a bunch of the schools. I did always love this campus, and it'd be really cool to go to college in New York City, I imagine.
You can see the summary of the entire video in one place in the form of mind map. And why is that so important for me? Because you don't only see the mind map as it is, you can also work on it. You can also get creative with it. You can also generate pictures or new ideas with the help of AI. For those of you who don't know, I created so many materials, so many English study materials for you to benefit from my study plans. I created all of my materials by using Edrawmind. Edrawmind is an actually software that helps you to structure and organize your thoughts and your ideas. And especially if you're a student in college, university, it will be helpful for you to organize your thoughts and ideas or your notes. Not only you can create mind maps with the Edrawmind. For instance, guys, I came up with an idea where I wanted to share my entire English learning journey in an organized and structured way, so that you can fully and clearly understand my English learning journey. And I started creating my English learning journey on Edrawmind by creating a mind map. Not only Edrawmind helps you to create a mind map, but also you can turn your mind maps into a poster very easily. And here we go. Without putting any effort, I directly am able to turn this mind map into a poster just like that. And to be honest, guys, posters are my favorite part of using this app. You can also generate pictures with the help of AI. For instance, I created this picture with the help of AI. I think it looks pretty nice. Also, I would like to talk about the prices very quickly. 6 months ago, I tried the free trial, 7-day free trial, and I liked the tool. And afterwards, I purchased the semi-annual plan, 6 months plan, which I paid almost $20. And then now I am very satisfied. I am very happy with the tool. I will purchase the perpetual plan, which I will have access to the app all the time. If you're new to my channel, you might probably ask me, how can I get the scripts of TV shows or movies? You can DM me on Instagram. I'll send you the sources and websites for that. What was your level when you first started learning English with friends? First, let me explain to you what I mean by beginner. I didn't know the meaning of, for instance, this word, legendary. I didn't know how to say, I'm gonna go out to dinner and have dinner with my friends. I couldn't even say the sentence, can I get a cup of coffee? Or how can I help you? So basically, that was my speaking level and that was my understanding. So basically, you can understand my level. I was a complete beginner. Can I start learning English with movies or other TV shows instead of starting with friends? First rule, when you start learning language for the first time, make sure to start learning the language with sitcoms, with not different TV shows. Make sure that you'll start to learn the language with sitcoms. Because sitcoms are the best way to learn a language for 2 reasons. First of all, you learn the vocabulary with a very powerful plot, with a very powerful storyline. And at the same time, sitcoms have these most realistic conversations and that are very close to the way that we speak in our daily lives. So basically, start learning English with the scripts of sitcoms, because sitcoms will help you to acquire the most realistic English while helping you to learn the words effortlessly and internalize all the words within the context, within the sentences. Now you might be asking me like, I'm a beginner, where should I start learning English? Start with this video. I created this study plan for those of you who are completely beginner. So if you're a beginner in terms of speaking, you need to start with this video. So in this video, you can find how to practice and learn English with the scripts of friends by following the right study plan. Lastly, I would like to thank to Wondershare Edrawmind for sponsoring this video. And also I would like to say that I will always try to talk about the products or apps that I genuinely love or use, or at least I think that might be really important for you, that might make a difference in your life. This is me just talking about a product that I've been using for the past 6 months and I will keep using them. You can also go check out my link in the description box and try to, use the free trial, 7 days free trial if you want. And I think you will like it, especially if you're in a college and university, or maybe you're a lecturer, whatever you do. I really think you might find it really important and useful and beneficial. And yeah, also don't forget to download these documents and keep them under your hands so that whenever you come up with a question, you can check out these documents and materials, because you always ask those questions, you know, same questions, and basically these study materials are going to be helpful for you to understand and internalize my whole English learning journey, because you know that you need to understand that input, comprehensible input, doesn't make us speak the language fluently or learn the language in the best way possible. What makes us speak the language fluently is to actually speak the language, because while we're speaking the language, while we're using the language, we start to truly understand the language. We start to get a better understanding of the language. We start to get a better sense of the language, you know. So basically, speaking the language is very important, because when you speak the language, actually you improve your comprehension in the best way possible. When we speak the language, we do the best input. So basically, guys, this is overall my whole English learning journey. I didn't study grammar. I didn't focus on learning vocabulary. I didn't memorize words. When I practice with the scripts, I'm not memorizing anything, or I'm not trying to memorize the scripts, or I didn't learn English by reading books. This is the only way that made me actually speak the language. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.